Hey guys, I know I haven't uploaded in a while. I don't feel like it's appropriate to put the typical like intro stuff. This is a little more serious of a video. I've wanted to put out a video about the whole Black Lives Matter movement going on, but I haven't known how to do it because I feel like right now isn't about me or what I think. It's about amplifying black voices who been kind of ignored for a while. But I have some things I feel like I want to say, and I feel like I can't not address the Black Lives Matters movement and how it's really surged up right now, and it seems like people are starting to actually listen when it comes to racism. I feel like I can't just like post a weekly sushi about me and what's going on with me without addressing what's going on with other people in the world. So you guys saw the title. I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about Breonna Taylor, and that was one of the things I feel like I wanted to address, and I felt like I had a little bit of something to say that I haven't seen anybody else say, and I'm already getting kind of choked up, and it's something that kind of makes me a little angry and passionate. For those of you who are new or don't know, I am a former EMT. Before I hurt my back, I was in school to be a nurse, but before that I got my my certification as an emergency medical technician. That was something I did to see if I wanted to go into emergency medicine as a nurse. So I got my certification and I did a lot of my training in the hospital, and from what I understand, I think Breonna Taylor, her jobs, she was working in the hospital before she passed away. But nonetheless, she was an emergency medical technician and she was aspiring to be a nurse. From what I read in the information I could find about her, that her passion was to save lives. And it really pisses me off, aside from the fact that nobody gave a shit because she was black. But what also really pisses me off, as a former EMT, as someone who was trained that it didn't matter the color of your patient's skin, it didn't matter if they had just committed a crime, it didn't matter if they were old, young, it didn't matter their gender, who the F they were. Your job as an EMT was to put them first and try to get them alive to the hospital to do what was best for them. And what pisses me off about the whole thing is that one of the things I saw in my training was how when a police officer got injured or a police officer got shot, there was a whole escort service to the hospital for the police officer who got shot. But for the EMT who got shot sleeping in her own home, there was fucking nothing for her. There was nothing. The person that would have been there for those cops if they had gotten shot, they did absolutely nothing for her. They shot her and left her for dead. Screw the police officers that did that. Screw you. It is so disgusting to see how when a cop gets treated when he gets shot, but when an EMT who was in her own home sleeping, there was total disregard. And really, there shouldn't be any difference between anybody. It could have been anybody. It could have been anybody. It shouldn't have mattered who was sleeping in that house. There should have been more of a regard for the life, but there isn't. Clearly, there's a difference with some of these cops. They get an escort service. Their ambulance gets an escort service to the hospital. EMTs like Breonna Taylor get left for dead. and they think about charging her boyfriend, who was trying to protect her, with murder, or attempted murder of a cop, because he was protecting his girlfriend. Am I taking credit? What world are we living in where one life is treated higher than the other? That's not the country I want to live in. That's some grade A bullshit there. I did a video about 8 months ago, and I watched it before I did this, about, you know, it's entitled, Can People with Chronic Pain Live Happily Ever After? And at the end of that, I get a little bit passionate about how there are some things in this world that people try to pretend aren't happening, and racism is one of them. Police brutality is one of them. Those are things that people just like to pretend aren't happening. They like to pretend that that was 50 years, that was years ago, and that's not happening right now. That when a black man gets charged criminally and a white man gets charged criminally, they get treated the same in the criminal justice system. That is the low. The black man gets screwed every time. And honestly, when when the George Floyd thing happened, which I could not watch that video, and as an EMT and someone who was going to be a nurse, I've been with people when they've passed. I could not watch that video. I could not watch somebody get senselessly killed right in front of me. Like, and I was a little bit angry for my friends that are, and family that are black, that these have been problems for years for them. This is not new. None of this is new. It's just something that everybody has pretended to not see for so long. I talk about, like, a lot about my past, and how, like, after I got hurt, I kind of became a different person. I kind of woke up to a lot of things, and even going through my training as an EMT and a nurse, I kind of woke up to a lot of things. And when I finally got hurt and went through all my own stuff, I woke up to, like, no, a lot of this stuff is not right. It's not right that we pretend that it's okay. It's not right that we pretend like, well, we're just regular people trying to make it paycheck to paycheck, and our votes really don't do anything. We really can't do anything. That's not right. That's not a right mentality. I just never knew how to say any of this on this channel, and even now I'm probably sounding like one of those moron white people, which makes me cringe. Sorry, but fellow white people, none of this is new. Wake up! Wake up and pull your head out of the sand. This isn't new, and there's a lot of other problems that aren't new, and I feel like as much as 2020 has sucked, like I've said in some of my other videos about how to make a hard situation better, well, maybe even though this all sucks and everything and change is hard, maybe this will be good, because it's waking up to some of these people that have had their heads in the sand about these things that are still going on, like racism. So I'm gonna get off my white girl soapbox, and because this right now is not about me. It's about amplifying black voices that have not been heard for so fucking long. And it's about amplifying them and raising them up. So I had to say that as a former EMT. I'm just disgusted about the Breonna Taylor thing. I feel like she was failed. When I was an EMT, there was always kind of this like, well, you need to take care of you know, the cops, they're like, you know, they'll take care of you, blah, blah, blah. That's BS. That is a load of BS from what I have seen. It is a load of BS that we need to protect cops in any way, shape, or form because they're working and it's hard and they put their life on the line. But it doesn't feel like sometimes it goes both ways in a lot of different aspects. And I just thought it was just, I just had to say that as a former EMT, I'm disgusted at how Breonna and her loss of life was treated, and that an EMT who would have been there for one of those cops would have been their first line of treatment if they had gotten shot on the job. They couldn't do the same kind of service that she would have given them. They couldn't do that for an EMT that would have saved their life. They couldn't do that. They couldn't do anything for her. And that's just my point. I just think it's disgusting that it's just a one-way road. It's just to protect cops, and the EMT that would have saved their lives, she gets nothing. Well, we're not going to forget you, Breonna, and I'm not going to forget you. And there's a lot of people that are really pulling. There was a law that was passed about no-knock warrants. That's just my video. I got two vlogs that I filmed at the beginning of May. I've been going through it with depression. I'm sure a lot of other people are going through it. Depression and anxiety and whatnot. I'm going to post those. If you're going through a hard time and can't watch it, don't worry about it. I'm going to be trying to post some other stuff, but as a former EMT, I had to get that. I had to say it. Feels better to have been able to rant a little bit with you guys, so I'm going to go, but I'm sending lots of love to you guys right now, and the world is really hurting right now. We all need some love, right? So, yeah, you guys you know where to find me, and until then, YouTube's got you covered. I love you. I'll see you in my next, I guess this is a weekly sushi, whatever video I post. Love you.